Shamelessly opening under limited release just before Christmas 2012 to make the cutoff for Oscar contention, this Kathryn Bigelow American Spy-thriller ended up scoring 5 nominations and has already recouped all of its $40 million budget. The dramatization of the real-life story behind America's hunt for Osama Bin Laden, the terrorist mastermind behind the September 11th attacks, which is something you wouldn't know from watching this movie, is bravely captured, scant months following the actual story's conclusion. And honestly, such a ploy feels needlessly opportunistic and downright gratuitous. It's hard to see this movie as anything but an exploitive cash grab during awards season. The delicate and untimely treatment of the material notwithstanding, though, this isn't even close to Best Picture material, dragging on for the first 90 minutes if for no other reason than to include every last detail of a story only a few people can actually verify is accurate. Failing to establish any story, plot, or consequence, Bigelow foolishly just assumes her audience understands all of the backstory behind Al-Queda's most wanted leaders, and all of the military jargon and initialisms that go with it. It isn't until the 100-minute mark that a dime a dozen character finally explains why anyone is even trying to find Bin Laden, or what the consequences are if they can't. Sadly though, for nominated lead actress Jessica Chastain, her motivations are never explained. Her 10-year devotion to the greatest manhunt in history is merely a mechanism to advance the bloated and confusing plot. Many of the interrogation and torture scenes bring us deep into the world of military intelligence with gritty and uncomfortable realism. But without any context on how these men were captured, if they're ever released, if their information is valuable, or how the despicable tactics, like controversial waterboarding, affect our protagonists on an emotional level, they lack any tension or impact. Chastain does a great job with her undeveloped role, shouting lines of wordy dialogue with a furious determination that is truly convincing. Once you get past the boring first half and forgettable characters that float in and out of the screenplay as needed, this movie's tighter finish is a real delight. A scene where CIA agents track Bin Laden's courier with real-time GPS updates in a Pakistani market is intriguing and thrilling. Watching their spycraft at work makes for great cinema.
We're within 10 meters of it. Back to 40. He's here somewhere.
Look at the cars. Look at the cars. He's in the vehicle. The guy with the phone in the white car. You see him? Is that him?
Could be.
You got him?
Got him.
Okay, breaking up.
The subtle Middle Eastern soundtrack meshes well with the heavy subject matter, with the many terrorist compounds and military bases looking shockingly similar to their real-life counterparts. The final, near real-time raid on UBL's fortress hideout is grippingly recreated, staying reasonably respectful by never showing Geronimo's full face. This sequence is unquestionably the highlight of the picture, and the only reason anyone should consider watching this drawn-out 157-minute experience. The movie wins points for tackling an important moment in American history with class and questionable accuracy, but for the majority of the feature, it is an unfocused, underexplained collection of disconnected scenes of intelligence failures, successes, and surprises. Although it functions effectively as a historical dramatization, save for its climactic finish, this picture is rarely entertaining. Zero Dark 30, incredibly fascinating story, poorly adapted. Now that you've heard my review, let's check out the YouTube comments to read some of yours. An 8 and a 6 for Zero Dark 30. Although you thought it was poorly paced, confusing, and a bit long, unanimous praise was given to Chastain's acting and the thrilling climactic raid sequence. You thought this movie was great. I agree with all of that, but I can't overlook the terribly boring first hour, unexplained character motivations, and the very existence of the film itself, which still feels a bit too immediate following the actual events it depicts. I rank this picture a good.